Today I get to interview Krystal. Oh my gosh, I got to meet you in Texas, and we just our kids hit it off, our husbands hit it off, and I absolutely love being able to do this life with you. So welcome today.
I do too. It is so fun, and we're both full-time RVers, and it's just really cool to have that connection too. It's just fun.
I know. Stacy's like, you are going to love her, and I was like, oh, I do. All right. So my first question, my first question for you is what made you get started in just in choosing a better option in your health? Because we're just as a society we're so used to just going to Target, right? So what was that defining moment for you and your family?
For me, was I had been dealing with some very severe skin issues, and to the point that the doctors would call it eczema. They would call it different things, but they really didn't know. And I had times where, like when I would have a flare up, it would start on my hand, and every flare up would get worse, and it would creep up, and it was where it would, like, I had blisters all up my painful blisters. And so the only thing that was working that the doctors were doing for me was putting burn cream on me and wrapping my arms with gauze, and then with ace bandages. And at the point that it got the worst, right before I joined Young Living, we had a son. We had adopted our son as an infant, and he at this point was almost 6 months old. And mamas can't have your arms wrapped in gauze all the time taking care of a baby. I mean, I needed to be able to function to take care of my son. And so I was really, honestly, I probably, if somebody had told me of any solution, I was open to it. Um, I, I don't know if I would have gone so far to put like Crisco or something like that on me, but I just was like, there's got to be something else. And the doctors kept asking me questions of, well, did you use something new? Have you been using a new product? Trying to eliminate that. So maybe I'm having a reaction. But everything I was using is what I had always been using. And I thought I was already doing good because I used laundry detergent that was like the clear, fragrance-free stuff. I was already doing that. I was already doing a few things, but I had not changed anything significantly. And that's when I started diving into look at ingredients of what I was using. So I got invited to, this was when Young Living, I was in Alabama, and that's when Young Living started becoming popular there. And Monique McLean and Kelly Wright were introducing it in our area. And my friend Stacy McQuaid had an event, and she invited me to this big event. And I was hearing people's testimonies about eczema and skin issues that they had had. And I'm like, oh, well, I need to try that. If that is working for them that significantly, I understand that pain. I'm going through that pain right now. And like Stacy does, she put oils on everybody. And when we were at the event, of course, she and Jackie Calvert were just dousing me with oils and stuff and sending me home with a sample. And so, so I got oiled up that night. And then I went to another class that Stacy and Jackie did at Stacy's house. And the more I heard, the more I was like, yes, this is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. Um, so that is what jump started it. So, and I started questioning, excuse me, questioning all the ingredients, started really looking at the ingredients of the products I was using. And I was using things that everybody uses, and even the stuff I had gotten for sensitive skin had skin irritants in it. And I'm like, what is up with that? So that's what started me on this journey.
That's incredible. I love it. Yeah, we have no idea, honestly, what's in our products. I mean, there's so many loopholes already. And then, you can't even pronounce the word. So I don't even actually know what that is. I just know it's a big
Right.
word and I don't know how to say it, right? So I love that
Right.
with living, I know what lavender and lemon and I know what all of these different words are. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I want that on my body. So yes, I love it. All right. So now you've said yes to Young Living and you're using the product. So what was that one product that really blew your mind and was like, okay, this stuff works?
Okay, so it wasn't just one product, it was a combination of oils. So I had been on a certain over the counter thing for, you know, pollen that affects everyone every year, right?
So the cool thing is this is
And
your story. So you're allowed
oh
to
yeah, I
you
can say things because I'm telling my story. Okay, so yeah, I can say it.
and
So
let people
I had allergies really bad, and I was on Zyrtec, and I had to take a Zyrtec every day to be able to handle the allergies. And so in looking at it, when I got my starter kit, I ordered my starter kit and a few extra things. And I also immediately ordered the Essential Oils Pocket Reference book and the Gentle Babies book from Deborah Rayburn, because I was like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to jump in and do this, and I'm going to have this stuff so that I can learn and know what to use and when to use it. And I started off with, if we had an issue, instead of just going to my medicine cabinet, I would look in the book for the issue. And I would go through the list of what was recommended, and I would use whatever I had that was on that list. I wouldn't freak out that I don't have this or that. I would just say, okay, well, you know what? It recommends this and this and this, and this is what I have, so I'm going to try this. And then I would go from there. So I had seen in some of the groups we were in, and we were talking about education, that for allergies, they were doing the capsule with the lavender, lemon, and peppermint together. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I put it in the capsule. I put 4 drops of each in a veggie capsule and started taking one of those every day instead of my Zyrtec. And I got to where I didn't even need to take that every day. I got to where I could even just put a little bit of lavender on my nose if I was having an allergy reaction or having an allergy issue with the pollen. Um, at the same time, I was still going through to find out what my body needed for the skin issue. And if I started to have an allergic reaction, like my lips would swell up real bad to things, chemicals when I was around things, or if I would eat something. I mean, who doesn't go to the movies and get popcorn? But whatever they were putting on their popcorn, my body was reacting to immediately, and my lips were swelling up. So talk about freaking out when that's never happened to you. So swipe of lavender. But I got to where I didn't have to use the allergy trio every day. And then I've got to where I only have to use, even now, this is 7 years later. I've been with Young Living 7 years this month. 7 years later, I only have to break out the allergy trio if pollen count is high and, the trees are releasing the pollen. And with the change of the seasons, I'll just put some of it in the diffuser. Sometimes I'll take a capsule if I wake up feeling scratchy throat. But other than that, I haven't had to have it every day. So that's
say.
stuff that I've been able to eliminate. I don't have to take anything every day, which is fantastic.
I know. So I was actually just having the same conversation with a woman, and she was talking about her kid and her child having the same allergy issue was the reason she got started in Young Living. And she's been in for, I think, like 4 or 5 years herself. And she said, he doesn't even show any issues anymore in any season that we're in, not spring, not fall, nothing. He doesn't do the eyes, he doesn't do the sneezing, no scratchy throat. She goes, there's something where it just changed in his body and I don't even have to use it anymore. And then you think about the synthetic medicine and how that is not designed to do that. When you're on Zyrtec,
Right.
you're on Zyrtec for life because that's the only thing that's going to stop this. It's not supporting your body to function properly. It's replacing the proper function of the body. So oils go to the body and say, hey, you're kind of having a reaction to this. Let's fix this problem. And I just love that
Mm-hmm.
because I, there are so many side effects to drugs, and the sooner we're getting these kids on this Zyrtec and this Claritin, the longer they're going to be on it, the more if issues of like the liver and everything. And it's scary what honestly is prescribed to our children at this point, which drives me crazy.
Right.
I'm so happy that you saw success with that. I know so many people that see success with that. My son, myself, does when he uses his oils, when he's around us, he sees tremendous success. When he's with his dad, he doesn't use it as consistently. And consistency is important when you're using a natural object or option. So now, what about your husband? So I know that husbands have a little bit of pushback, right? And they're like, "You're crazy." So what was that one product where he was like, "All right, babe, I'm in. I'll use it all."
Yeah, so for him, because when I got my kit, I didn't even ask. I was like, okay, my birthday's in June, and so I was like, I know what I'm getting for my birthday. This is what I want, so this is my birthday present. So I went ahead and got it. It was no, you know, but he was, and what's funny is that has always been supportive of natural things. But when it came to this at first, for some reason, he had the typical husband reaction of, well, I don't know what that is. What are you doing? But just like we normally do, we're the ones that are doing it. We're doing for our family. They're like, okay, well, whatever you're doing, that's whatever. You can do your thing. That's kind of what it was. So for him, it was, and I would experiment on him if he was having a problem or an issue. Well, what is it? What is your problem? And I would look it up in the book, and I would get out what I needed and use that on him. So he had a couple months in, he had one night that he was getting chills and fever and the beginnings of when he gets sick. And I don't know if it was flu, but he had chills and fever and was just feeling puny and everything. It's like, we've got a baby in the house. We ain't got time for this. You cannot have this in this house. So I made up, and honestly, I don't remember the whole concoction of what I gave him. I know it had frankincense and I know it had thieves. And I made him a capsule and I rubbed him down and, anointed him with oils and then had the diffuser going and sent him to bed. And I was like, okay, you're going to bed. Here's this, here's this, here's this. Take this. Let's rub you down with this. Let's put this on your feet. So I did he was anointed with oils that night and had the diffuser going in the bedroom. And he woke up the next morning, felt fantastic, felt great. There was no lingering anything. And he wakes up and he was like, what did you put in that capsule and what did you put on me last night? And I'm like, well, and I went through the list of what we used. He was like, I feel great. I don't feel like there's nothing. And usually when I'm feeling like that, it leads to this and it's a long process.
Right. It leads to the man cold, and I will do anything I can to avoid the man cold.
Right, right.
Right.
So he was hooked then. When it stopped, whatever was affecting him, when it stopped it in its tracks, and he was not sick, when normally it would be, a 5-day ordeal, he was a believer then in the product. And I'll say for the business part of it, because this was my thing. Okay, he was like, oh, that's your thing. You do your thing. That's fine. You go do your thing. Once I hit silver in in February of 2014, when I hit silver, and then this paycheck shows up, that's a pretty significant paycheck. He's like, so what is it that you're doing? What is this? And so that's when that got his attention on the business side of it. And that's when he jumped fully on board with that.
That is amazing. Yes, the paycheck surely does get men to open their eyes. And I've had
It
a lot of
does.
questions who have thanked me because, you know, I've hosted a couple classes for their wives or whatever, and now they get their products for free. And they're like, hey, listen, when you first came here, I thought you were losing your mind and you were just blowing smoke up our butt. And now, you know, we spend $100, we get $100. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's kind of nice. You know, it's what residual income is. If you want to up that and actually do the business, I mean, at this point, we travel at minimum half the year, and we completely work off of our income, off of my income when we do that. So, you know, it's a blessing, one, to be able to bless people with health and wellness, but also to be able to give our families financial freedom to do whatever we want, like volunteer and
Right.
travel. I love it. Okay, so what is your last question? What is one of your favorite testimonies? Because I know that you have helped a lot of people get started with health and wellness and young living. So what is your favorite testimony that you've had of people joining Young Living?
I will say that I have had a lot of people have immediate results with their products, and it has been amazing. There are a lot of great testimonies. One of my favorites is actually with my friend and one of my downline members, Tammy Reagan. Um, I'm a massage therapist, and I used to trade massage therapy for other services. And after I started with Young Living, I was still trading like massage for haircut, massage for whatever. So Tammy Reagan was, she had just finished or was working on finishing her nutritionist certification. And so we traded out. I was going to do massage on her in exchange for nutrition counseling. And because she was already, you know, had with her story and her background had already diving into nutrition and wellness. And so this was just a next step to add to what, you know, she was interested in the oils. And so I was set to go over and give her a massage. Well, she had had a back injury and hurt herself and had been to the chiropractor and gotten some deep tissue work there. And so she didn't feel like she was going to be able to have, you know, anything done. And she was like, well, you know, you can come over, but I don't think you're going to be able to do anything for me because I can't really have any pressure right now. My chiropractor said I've already had this. I can't get any more. I was like, okay, well, you know, we can just do some reflexology, work on your feet. We can, you know, work on your hands and your arms and your neck. And, you know, but I have these oils that I think can really help you and help your back. And so I won't do any pressure. I'll just apply them and then we'll just go from there. She was like, okay. And she didn't really think, oh, that's not going to really do anything, but okay, you can do it. I go over, take my table, and she's, you know, I apply the oils onto her back first. And I layered, I did Valor first, and then Panaway, and then Peppermint. And I also did some deep relief. So I put that on her too. And so then I went about just doing reflexology, you know, working on her neck and her shoulders and all that. And by the end of the hour, she realized that she could sit up and was not in pain. She could move and was not in pain. And what she had done to her back, she was not able to move at all without pain. And she was like, you've got to tell me what you just put on me because I don't have any pain right now. And so that started her story. So that is one of my favorites because that's one of my biggest immediate result things that was so impactful, and it led to her getting her starter kit, and she has been building and has built an amazing business with Young Living, also sharing her story and helping other people in the same way.
That is so amazing. I just love it. I love that, you know, even something like back pain, you know, it's so debilitating and people think, well, I just have to wait. I have to wait it out. I have to wait for the inflammation to go down. It's just, you know, I tweaked my back. And I know some people that have chronic back pain And, you know, even my father-in-law, you know, he moved down to Florida and started walking on tile floor. And he's like, my back is killing me. Like, hey, you know, I got some craziness for you, but you want to put it on. He put it on and he bought a bottle of he buys a bottle of Coolizol pain cream. Now they're buying the CBD pain cream. He's like, man, this stuff like works. I'm like, I know, it's crazy, right? I mean, it's we're just so trained to think that we need chemicals or synthetics to stop pain when we really don't. I mean, topically, you can do a lot for, you know, relieving the muscle and helping the stiffness and doing all of that to get you back to normal, right? I'm so excited that you shared with Tammy. She's an awesome leader in Young Living. I know her personally. She is amazing. I love working beside her. So thank you for introducing her, because again, this business is so cool because I get to meet so many women and just help inspire them and help encourage them. And they do the same for me. We just run alongside each other. There's no real competition. There's no
Right.
poaching. There's no stealing. There's just, hey, we want to get oils into every home, no matter how we do that. We're going to do that
Yeah.
together. So thank you so much for coming on today and answering all of my questions. I truly appreciate your time.
You are welcome. It was a pleasure. It's good talking with you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.